So, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the second day. I'm having to do a voiceover because the wind was that loud you wouldn't have heard me. So basically what I was saying is it took us 3 hours yesterday to put this tent up. Let me just close my car door, otherwise we'll have the same problem again, not hearing me. Yeah, so as you can see how much that tent is bellowing outside. So what I'm showing you there is where the corner pieces up the top there should be coming out on a guide rope. So I've realised all of this now, so that's going to be put out on each side on the corner on guide ropes, and it'll make the whole thing a lot stronger. That's a good way of keeping it nice and strong. So if you can see now, I've been lent by the landlord very strong tent pegs. I mean massive steel things. Where they're pegged in, that I thought was just ventilation parts of the tent. As it turns out, they are ventilation, but they are also to peg down and keep the tent also nice and taut. Again, that piece there, that's supposed to go over that bar. Again, with a guide rope stretched out, and I've worked out how to do it now. I just got to wait for the wind to disappear over the next few days, and then it's basically starting on each corner, disconnecting what I've tied on there and starting from scratch and pulling each corner out on the top with the roof piece. As you can see, I was bellowing in there now. The wind it's dropped a bit, but it's still very strong. So yeah, so just going to the just showing you the other corner there. It's difficult to do a voiceover, you're not quite sure what's happening. So yeah, what I'm showing you now is under there, all that was loose yesterday, so that was flapping around, and under there is the ventilation part there of the tent. You see that? So you can see it through it. So last night the rain was hitting that and coming straight through, and basically the rain was coming through there, it soaked absolutely everything, was hitting me in the face, and I sleep on the other side of the tent. So it's coming through the top there, straight across, every time the rain kicked in and the wind was splashing me in the face. When I woke up this morning, all my clothes, because I forgot to shut the suitcase, all my clothes, the blankets I got over the top of me, the duvet cover I got underneath me to make myself nice and comfortable because the proper mattress isn't down yet. It's just like a mini camping mattress thing, really thin one. So that everything else, everything got soaking wet. So when I realised when I got up this morning, not only had it been splashing me in the face, it had soaked everything. So there was water all over the floor and covered, and all my bedding was absolutely, literally wringing wet, and I'd been sleeping in that. So how I'm still healthy is beyond me, but I seem to have survived that. So yeah, there you go. So again, just showing you the top piece there that needs to be stretched out, and it's got two doors at the front. On each door, which I will be showing you in a minute, no date, if I think that's the way I filmed it. Yeah, it's got like on the front part like a fly net, a bug net, a mosquito net, or whatever you want to call it, and on the inner part it's got the normal door. I'm just showing you there where it needs to be stretched out as well. It's difficult to do a voiceover because you can't remember where you were filming next, but I'm just showing you there. It's got to be pulled out and stretched out. So there you go. Yeah, exactly like that. And I know I can do this. It's just a matter of time now and waiting for the winds to drop. So yeah, just gonna show you briefly inside the tent. Just showing you again. So the zip. So this zip doesn't go round like they do on a lot of tents. Am I going to show you that now? That's difficult, isn't it, to do this? So yeah, what I'm showing you, yeah, so there we go. So that one just goes straight up, and then there's another one at the bottom. So that one goes straight, that's the inner door, the main door. At the bottom there's one goes straight across, so it doesn't go round like it normally does, all in one action. There's actually two zips to the main door, one straight up and one straight across at the bottom. Which I suppose doesn't make a lot of sense because you haven't got that where you've got to stretch it to close it properly and everything. It does seem, that part does seem. So the suitcase there in the corner, all those clothes in there are still wringing wet. I've dried as many as I could, or took as many to the laundry as I could today and did that. The bedding had been washed on that bed there, so I put a bit of a bed down there. That's been done again. So there's my camping stove ready to go. Make myself a cup of coffee later. Yeah, as you can see, that's just a suitcase full of clothes that was freshly washed and folded by my lovely wife before I set off, come back, and it's all been for nothing. It's all going to be done again. If we have some nice days coming up, I might put myself sort of a clothesline up here somewhere and try and dry them that way. But the wind's not too bad for that, obviously good for that, but the rain needs to stop. So yeah. So the tour, like I said, I was showing you out tall the tent is, I can actually stand up in my tent completely. That's 6'9", I'm 6'2", so no trouble with standing up. I've dried all the floor off with everything I can find, jumpers and shirts I don't wear so often, they'll have to be washed again, but I use those to dry all the floor off, and a towel which I've had to wash again, that I was used for that. There was actually over inch of water deep in a lot of places in the tent when I got up this morning, and that's took a lot of drying out, and I've had to go to town obviously and get the clothes washed and everything. So it's been again a busy day. Did a bit more shopping, just showing you the doors there again. So yeah, so like I said, I've had another busy day. I've done my washing, been to town, done a bit more shopping, trying to get myself a bit more organised. The landlord's been good enough and offered me the caravan I have normally the last 2 or 3 days on before I leave the country. I normally go into his caravan once I've taken the tent down and let everything dry out. He said this morning that if I really need to, I can use the caravan for a couple of days, but people will be using this soon, so that's just like if I really have to, I suppose. So I might have to take advantage of that. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to try and get away with just being in the tent. Yeah. Like I say, these nice strong peg I've got in there, one of these big chunky plastic ones. So that's where the toggle had actually ripped off. The first thing we did was pin that to the ground with one of these toggle things, and it ripped straight off. First bit of winding off the ground, so you can see it's not really well made. There's no quality there. Just showing you again the ventilation thing there, which wasn't covered last night. That's why all the rain was coming in, because basically we run out of string. And I found a load this morning, which was a bit frustrating, so I could have made a better job of it yesterday, but we ran out of string, and now I found a load in the car. So I've carried on and I've done that properly now. So just showing you the caravan, which I can run into at any time. I don't think it's locked. Just run in there and take cover if I need to. Even spend the night if I want to, for the next couple of nights. Because the storm is supposed to be picking up again and getting even worse with the wind over the next 2 days, I think. The next 48 hours is going to be even worse than what it was last night. So you can see the top's still bellowing. But that's made a big difference. We're putting those big steel pegs in there and keeping it a lot stronger, and just looks a lot better, doesn't it? So the back does look a lot stronger than the rest of the tent, really. So done a good job of that. I say it's all about putting the roof on properly now, which I've worked out how to do it. Yesterday was hard for us to work it out, because the whole thing was blowing down on us, and you needed basically 4 people to hold that tent up while it was all being pegged down and pinned down and everything. That would have been the way to do it. With just 2 of us, the one was trying to hold one side, the other was trying to hold the other side, and then one had to let go to do something else. Of course, the whole lot had collapsed again, and this went on for 3 hours. We gave up, or as good as gave up, several times. I was having a bit of a hissy fit. I was getting really stressed out, because you can imagine I hadn't had a lot of sleep, and I travelled a lot, and I just wanted things to go right for once, and it wasn't. But I managed to pull myself together, calm down a bit, and now, as you can see, the tent is standing, not perfectly, but it's there. Those real big steel pegs I've got in there, and also on the guide ropes, I've replaced those pegs, or strengthened those pegs with really good solid ones. So that's made the whole tent a lot more rigid. It's not likely to blow over. I wouldn't have thought we'd have to have like seriously storm whatever gales to bring it over. I think it's just, unless of course the original guide ropes, the white ones on it, they're rubbish, and if they snap, then I am in trouble. But I've put a lot of extra guide ropes all the way around, and that should do the job. The frustrating part is, in about 4 or 5 weeks, so end of May, I will be moving from here, and I will be going down into the far corner of the campsite again, out of the way from everything, and I can't go there at the moment. I would like to, but it's just too wet, so I'm gonna have to do everything I've done now is gonna have to be undone and done again. But in saying that, I think I've got it sussed now how to do it, and there won't be any wind down there, or very little wind down there normally. In saying that, did get some storms at the end of the last season, which bust the framework on my friend's gazebo, so that wasn't good. Buckled it all together, so the storms will hit it, but that was like a freak storm really as it was coming down the valley, rather than across the top here. So yeah, normally I don't get a lot of wind down there. It's normally up here, and I'm more protected down there. So yeah, the other problem was going down the bottom of their course.